Welcome Stampers to Sunday Share. Today I'm going to share with you a card that I've made using the Flowering Foils Designer Series paper. And if you don't already have this paper, you're going to want to get it fast. This is a celebration item that you can earn for free with a $60 order from my online store. So to make this card, you're going to need a few items. You're going to need some Night of Navy cardstock, Smoky Slate, and Whisper White, along with a few Stampin' blends, and I've chosen to use blue and grays. And specifically, I'm going to use Night of Navy, Balmy Blue, and Smoky Slate. You're also going to need the Last a Lifetime stamp set. This is such a pretty stamp set. The greetings on here and the font is just stunning, and I absolutely love using this set. I was so glad to see that they brought back some really scripty type fonts in the catalog. You'll also need the Layered Leaves 3D embossing folder. And finally, the Stitched So Sweetly dies. These dies, again, out of the mini catalog, are amazing because they layer with your rectangle dies. And these shapes here are great for layering on top of each other. So let's get started. What I've done is I've taken a piece of the Flowering Foils Designer Series paper and I've actually cut it out ahead of time. I did that just to save a little bit of time. I want to share a few tips when it comes to coloring with blends. What you're going to want to do is start off in smaller sections. By doing so, it's going to allow you to blend the colors in much easier. So when I color, I like to start with my darkest color, and this one happens to be the light Night of Navy. And we're going to just start by coloring in just a little bit of the sections around here. And because the leaf or the flower comes all the way up to here, I want to add a fair amount of the dark because I want to make sure that it shows up. So once I've done that, I'm going to take the dark Balmy Blue, and I like to color in a circular motion because in doing so, it will help to blend the previous color that you had just laid. So I start right on top, and I just try to pull that color right on up. And by coloring in a circular motion, you're going to notice that it'll help to eliminate that harsh line that you actually get when you colored your first or laid your first color. So the third color I used is the light Balmy Blue. And again, I start right on top of the previous color I've laid, and I pull all that color up in a circular motion, just like this. As you can see, all those colors are starting to blend nicely together. Another tip I want to share with you is, as I said, you start in small sections. If you were to try to lay the whole dark color down first, you would end up finding that it would dry and it wouldn't blend very well. But I find sometimes I want to get it to dry quicker, so if I just lay my fingers right on top, what that will end up doing is it'll help to pull the alcohol out and dry the image that much quicker. So I just can continue to do that, and that way I will be able to get a better view of how that coloring has blended itself in. To do the leaves, I use the dark Smoky Slate to start, and you can see I don't do anything super fancy. I just lay some color over top like that. That was the dark, and then I come back in with the light, and I color right on top, and I pull it right out to the edges. The nice thing about this Flowering Foil Designer Series paper is that the images have all been embossed, and by embossing an image, when you stamp or color with your blends, it resists the marker. So that really makes it easy to color. You don't have to worry about coloring over the lines because it'll all blend in. I love this paper, and I hope that you do too. I think you're going to really want to get your hands on it quickly. So I'm not going to do too much more, but you can get the idea of how the coloring happens. And what we'll do is we'll start to place our card together. So to do this card, you're going to take your Night of Navy cardstock base. You'll have embossed the Smoky Slate, and you'll lay that right on top. You'll cut out one of the rectangles with the stitched layers, the Stitched So Sweetly. I stamped my greeting, and what I did to make that is I took just a regular Stampin' Write marker, and I colored the stamp itself in order to just get the best wishes, because there was another part of the greeting that I didn't want on the card. And then finally, just adhere your two flowers down with some snail and you're all set to go. I hope you've enjoyed this quick Sunday share, and we'll see you next week. Bye for now.